So let's now go ahead and talk about the tropics. We are currently watching 3 different areas for possible tropical development. One of them is now just off of the western coast of Africa. The second one is now just off of the eastern coast of North Carolina. And then our main topic is going to be Invest 93L, which is now in the southwestern Gulf and is forecasted to maybe eventually have some impacts on the U.S. mainland. So let's now talk about our main weather headlines. And once again, that was Invest 92L is now in the southern Gulf and is forecasted to possibly have some impacts on the Gulf Coast. We also have tropical depression number 2, which is now formed just off of the eastern coast. And as you can see, the tropics are definitely starting to fire up. So here are our 3 different areas that we're watching for possible development. Our first one here is now just off of the western coast of Africa, and as you can see, because it is in that area of yellow, it only has about a 40% chance of development, or even less than that. So it really isn't that, I guess you could say, our main topic. As we get into the North Atlantic, here's Tropical Depression 2. Once again, that is now just off of the eastern coast of North Carolina. Thankfully, all the model guidance has it going out somewhere in this general direction. So we aren't, I guess you could say, forecasting it to have any impacts on the U.S. mainland. However, this area, though, is going to be our main area to watch. That is Invest 92L. Now has a 70% chance of development. As you can see by that forecast track, it is forecasted to head north towards the Gulf Coast. So you'll definitely be watching that very, very closely. But first off, let's talk about the one that is closest to the U.S. mainland. That is Tropical Depression 2. Here's the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center as of 11 a.m. I know it's a little bit off, but it is the latest advisory that we have. It currently has sustained winds of around 35 miles an hour. It is continuing to head off towards the northeast at about 21 miles an hour. And as you can see by this forecast track, thankfully, all the model guidance has it, I guess you could say, moving away from the United States, even though it will be starting to strengthen, going from 45 miles an hour this evening, eventually to about 50 miles an hour as we head into tomorrow morning. Once again, this is going to be heading all away from the U.S. mainland to absolutely no impacts as far as the United States as far as the United States go. However, we could potentially be seeing some rip current risk as far as the rest of today goes. We're going to be looking at that moderate risk going from the eastern parts of North Carolina up into a place like Norfolk, Virginia, and then also going all the way up into New England, maybe even up to a place like Boston, Massachusetts. All those locations will be in that slight to very low risk of seeing any rip current risks. Now, here is our main topic, Invest 92L. As you can see on our latest enhanced satellite, it really isn't that formed very well. It's really, really spread apart, and you really can't see that, it's much of anything. However, anywhere in this general areas where we're watching for it to possibly, come together and form one main system. Now, what does this mean for the Gulf? That means that tropical development is going to be becoming likely, especially as we head to the later part of this week. It is forecast to move up northward, and if you live on the northern U.S. or the Gulf Coast shore, you should definitely be monitoring the forecast for the system very, very closely. So here's the latest forecast track, and I want you all to notice that as we continue to head north, the pressure is going to decrease, and what that means is that the strength is going to start increasing. So right now we're steady at 1,009 millibars, but as you can see, as we get into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, we're going to be down to about 992 millibars, which is definitely a jump down from 1,009. So we are definitely expecting this storm to increase. Now, will it become a hurricane before landfall, even if it does make landfall somewhere here along the Gulf Coast? That is going to be a big question that everybody is going to be wanting to answer, including myself. Right now, I think it's probably going to become a tropical storm as we head into tomorrow and then eventually into Wednesday. Once again, will it become a hurricane? I don't know yet, but I guess you can say the key takeaways from this is that if you live here across eastern parts of Texas, the whole entire Gulf Coast of Louisiana, and then also right along the shores of Mississippi and Alabama, you need to be on high alert because this is going to be heading towards your state as we get into the next couple of days. And then as we even go further, look at that. Now we're going to be looking for parts of the Central Carolinas to be affected by this. Obviously, if they get anything, it will not be as bad as the impact some people might see if you live along the Gulf Coast, but you can still see some possible impacts. So here's the latest guidance from the GFS model, and you can see very heavy rain across portions of the across eastern Louisiana, and then eventually, once again, making that turn and heading towards the Gulf and heading towards the Carolinas. So you can see wherever those lines are closest together, that is indicating stronger winds. And you can definitely see that we are going to be starting to see a well-defined center with this system. So once again, the yellow bar is kind of close. Plenty of rain across eastern Louisiana, getting down to Mississippi and Alabama, and then eventually into the Carolina coast. So a very, very, very dangerous situation that could possibly be unleashing as we head into the later parts of this week. Obviously, I will be posting a lot of updates on my Instagram, on my Twitter, and also on my Facebook, and I will be doing daily videos in the afternoon on all of this to make sure that you are updated on the most important information that can possibly happen. So all that means is that you need to be sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Click that notification button so that way you get notified immediately when there's a video. And also be sure to send this video out to all your friends and family so they know exactly what is going on, especially if they live in the states of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and then also as you get into the Carolinas. So this is going to be my first video that I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing my summer fun bash video this afternoon that is going to be featuring the anatomy of severe weather, how meteorologists forecast it, and the different radars that we use. That is all on my YouTube channel and also my website at liamsweather.org. And once again, please be sure that you are following me on all of my social media applications so that way you get all the updates that you can possibly get. So that is it for now. Thank you all so much for watching and have a great afternoon.